Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Group, and welcome back to the Global Healing Institute, where we provide you all the knowledge and the DIY techniques to become your own doctor. Also, to be able to have the technology, the research, the science, and really the benefits of nature at your hands. That's what it's all about. Addressing the root cause of disease and providing those simple techniques that you can share with yourself, with anybody, to reactivate your body's self-healing mechanism, to learn how to detoxify your environment, the internal environment, the external environment, and live a happy and healthy life. And today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects because it is simple. It's hard, but it's simple, and that's water-only fasting. So I'm going to kind of take you through and guide you through my journey. We don't have a lot of evidence. I mean, we have a lot of anecdotal evidence that we've been able to research and pull together over the years. But, with fasting, with cleansing, with detoxification, even with diet, everybody's different. Everybody's biochemistry is different. And when you talk about natural medicine versus scientific or allopathic medicine, the science and the allopathic medicine, they always want to just do all these clinical trials and studies on this one thing. And the holistic approach involves many different things. That's how you really heal yourself, by cleansing your environment, by cleansing your body, by using chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, hot oil. I mean, there's so many different healing modalities out there. And that's using nature to heal you instead of science to heal you. What I've found with water fasting is it really is a healing miracle. It is so simple. It's been used for thousands of years, and it really does heal and regenerate the body using water, which is living in itself. I mean, water is a secret to life. And if you look at the root cause of disease, you'll find that really all living species are composed of at least 80% water. And in any type of body of water, if it becomes contaminated, if it becomes toxic, even if you drink toxic water, it creates a toxic body. So I'm really have been big on water for years and years and years, because any good healer, one of the first things they know and one of the first things that they'll teach you is that how important it actually is to drink clean water. And that, for that matter, detoxify your body, because guess what? Your cells drink water too. And you have 100 trillion cells in your body. So what are you feeding yourselves? Your cells. Or yourself, for that matter, because your cells are yourself. You're feeding them. That's the question you have to ask. Are you feeding them clean, pure, structured water, or are you feeding them toxic water? Are you feeding them clean food, or are you feeding them toxic food? So one of the questions that I get, and a good place to start, is actually just the basic, what is fasting? Because over the years, fasting has taken on many different forms. But the true form of fasting, the one we're going to be talking about today, is water-only fasting. And that true form of fasting has been used for thousands and thousands of years. It's been written about in all different types of spiritual texts. And it's the most effective way to regenerate the body and to heal the body. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Now, there are many different types of fasting. There's juice fasting. There's grape-only fasting. There's even food fasting, different types of food fasting out there. So, and those aren't necessarily bad. What we're going to be doing is talking about the most rapid form of healing. You see, so you can do juice fasting or you can do intermittent fasting, and those are all great. But, and I believe in those and I support those. But today we're going to be talking about the most rapid form of healing, and that's going to be water-only fasting. And the difference between utilizing, let's say, a water-only fast where you're adding lemon juice or you're adding honey to the water. You know, there's a big misconception about that too, because people say, I'm doing a water-only fast, but I am drinking coffee and I am drinking tea. And I'm like, well, that's not really a water-only fast. Will that help you? Yes, it will help you tremendously. But the key to the water-only fasting is, and the reason your body goes into rapid healing mode is because you have to shut down the digestive process. That is the secret. None of those other fasts will shut down the digestive system, and it takes about 72 hours to completely shut down your digestion. So what does that mean when you say shut down the digestive process? Well, what I'm going to be talking about today is research from, ancient times to through the early 1900s, the mid 1900s, which a lot of it comes from individuals who had fasting clinics, and that could be Arnold Ehret, and we're going to talk about him. But what they've noticed is that after your digestive system shuts down or stops, that's the only time when your body diverts 100% of its energy to healing the system. So you can say, well, I'm going to do a juice fast, but guess what? Your digestive system never stops. So even, then your digestive system could work 20%, could be working 40%, and that's still not going to divert enough energy for your body to heal rapidly as if you were to completely stop the digestion process. So that's really what fasting is. It's like water-only fasting is stopping the digestive system, which, by the way, it takes 10 times the amount of energy that we produce to break down 3 meals a day. So if you just think about that math, it's, you eat one meal, and one meal pretty much can take all of your energy stores for digestion. And if you aren't able to break all that food down with the energy stores, then it ends up sitting in your system for 48 hours, 24 hours, 72 hours, and the proteins end up turning putrefactic, the fats end up turning rancid, and the carbohydrates end up fermenting. When we talk about disease in general, how all disease starts from the gut and all health begins in the gut. I mean, if you just boil it down to simplicity, because I'm really big into simplicity. Fasting is simple. It's a simple procedure, but it's hard to do. Those are the things that change your life forever. The things that are simple, but yet hard, because it takes drive, it takes passion, it takes commitment to be able to accomplish something that's hard. It's like a marathon. How long do you have to train to run a marathon? Running is easy, right? I mean, I can get up and I can run from this side of the building to the next side of the building. That's easy. But completing a marathon is actually hard. So drinking water is easy, but completing a water-only fast is hard. And so, but the benefits you get from that, the more work you put into something and the harder it is, the more benefits you're actually going to get. And that's really what's wrong with the medical system today, is that, there's no work on the end of the patients or anyone suffering. They just go knock on the doctor's door, go into the doctor's office and say, hey, I'm suffering from this. And the doctor says, okay, write out a prescription. I'll give this to you. Take it home and take this pill. Because you're not doing anything. You're not actually working towards something. So it's easy. It's easy to take a pill. However, all that doctor is doing is never addressing the root cause of why you have disease. All they're doing is covering up the symptoms. So that's what we're going to talk about with water-only fasting today, is just, figuring out how to stop your digestive system. One of the things that I learned when I was doing research, because I literally took 2 years to do the research on this, because I don't want to talk about anything or present a bunch of research to anybody without actually going through the research myself. And I was fascinated at what I found and what I could pull up. However, what I also found was that a lot of the fasting, anecdotal evidence, the research, the books that were written were gone. It was extremely hard to find, and that's consistent with what the AMA and Big Pharma have done for years, is trying to eliminate all of the good sources of ways you can heal your body naturally, using things that are free in nature, basically. This was actually the original form of medicine. If you look at the books that were written, the biblical texts, the spiritual texts that were written out of India, it doesn't matter what religion, all the religions that I could find and all the ancient civilizations talked about healing the body through fasting. And what they would do is anytime anyone was sick, back in the old days, they didn't have city water systems. They actually bring water from different types of water from springs all over the place. And so when anyone got sick, they would go to these healing springs and they would soak in the waters, and that's all they would do is drink the water. Not only that, but they would be relaxed, they would be calm, they would have time to reflect on themselves. Most of the time they would spend time in meditation, doing affirmations, things like that. Sunlight, because they would be outside, sunlight, water, and meditation, and eating clean food. Well, not when they're water fasting, but leading up to that. So it really is healing in simplicity when you just have clean water, clean air, and some rest and some sunlight available to you. And that's why detoxification also works. Before you do a water-only fast, I recommend that you always start with detoxifying your body, because if you're going to be in this type of a challenge with yourself to go through a water-only fast, you definitely don't want your 3-day, 6-day, 9-day, 12-day water-only fast to be focused on detoxifying your liver and your gut and all the chemicals and heavy metals and all that junk from your body. The best case scenario is you want it to heal the damaged cells and tissues and regenerate your body and produce new stem cells. So that's why I always recommend going through a detoxification program first. So if this is so easy and this is so effective at regeneration and letting the self-healing mechanism activate and healing the body, why are doctors not using water-only fasting? Why is there not a clinic in every single town with some doctors trained, and you can go in for 3 days, 6 days, 9 days, however long, and be medically supervised while you're doing a water-only fast? It seems like common sense, right? Well, I can tell you that with the research that I've done, this water-only fasting became a darker and darker and darker and hidden secret of the medical profession, and it's been suppressed. And the reason why is they know how powerful that water-only fasting is, how fast your body turns and starts healing itself. But not only that, they also know that this is a big threat to the pharmaceutical industry. There's no money in water-only fasting, right? Because the doctors are going to have a hard time selling you $100 gallon of water. So there's no money in it. There's no vested interest, and you heal yourself. And quite frankly, doctors are scared of water-only fasting because they've been trained that, we need to eat food. And we've been trained that we need to eat food or that we'll die. So there's that scared factor and there's that fear factor in there that doctors just aren't up to speed on knowing enough about the detoxification methods, the fasting methods, that they would feel comfortable even recommending that to any of their clients. And by the way, when you are doing water only fasting, you're not supposed to be taking any medications. Or if you are, it's recommended that you do your water only fasting under the supervision of a medical doctor. And there are fasting clinics all over the world, medically supervised fasting clinics. So doctors are just not taught anything or very little about natural remedies. They're taught very little about environmental toxins in your external environment as well as your internal environment. And with water-only fasting, there's really no medicine even needed, except the medicine, God's medicine, which is water. We've been taught that we need to eat all this through commercials, through media, through all this other false nutritional information that they're teaching these registered dietitians and everybody, that we need to eat, we need all this protein, we need all these carbohydrates, and all this sugar. And we're conditioned to believe that we need 3 meals a day.